are common to all of us, in matters that are cross-cutting and that tries to solve issues that are there that are common to all of us. As you know very well, here in the diaspora, we have many issues, and all these issues cannot be sorted out or solved by one organization. And that's why people have to come together so that we try to very much be able to sort those problems. So One Voice Consortium was established 3 years ago as a non-profit organization and foundation, which is called Global Diaspora Development Foundation, GDDF. And GDDF has the vision and mission to support and improve the welfare of our diaspora community and also our citizens back in Kenya. Because as all of you know, we come from East Africa, we come from Kenya, and therefore we have our brothers and sisters back home. And so One Voice Consortium works to help and support all these organizations that are back in Kenya. So to do that, we have many sectors within us. We have our economic sector that deals with issues around banking, trading, and agriculture. And then, of course, we have our educational sector, which deals with issues around formal and informal education, and also technical support for vocational institutions back in Kenya. And then, of course, we have our governance sector, which has been very, very active lately in trying to engage the diaspora on civic education and improving the quality of leadership that we might be able to get out of the elections come August 2022. So we have been very, very busy in civic education and in trying to send message that diaspora needs to be involved, diaspora needs to participate, and diaspora needs to be recognized, because we are part and parcel of Kenya and its development. We also have our cultural sector that is also very much active through various organizations that are part of us, including Swahili Institute, Cultural Institute, and others like Angaza and others that are in culture that support to enhance our culture as Kenyans outside of Kenya. We also have other sectors like the gender sector that deals with women and men affairs, and especially women empowerment and youth leadership. This is a very, very important sector for us. We also have our international sector that helps to link One Voice Consortium with all the other continents, because we have members in Europe, we have members in Asia, in Australia, and outside of Kenya, in various countries in Africa. Our membership currently is over 110 organizations that have almost 140,000 members. So our members are those members in those organizations. Organizations like Kwitu are our members. KCFA is our member. Kenya North American SACCO is our member. Granite SACCO, and even Jambo List, which today we are officially launching their Business Expo here. We are very proud of Jambo List as our member, and also Jambo List has other organizations like EPAD, that is enhancing people of African descent, that is more focused on helping our young people recognize their identity and where they are going. So that's what One Voice does. Since our inception in 2019, we've been able to cover quite some big ground. We have other affiliate organizations that work with us. We have organizations like Africa Diaspora Development Institute, led by Her Excellency Dr. Rikana Chihombori. We also work closely with Professor PLO Lumumba, and some of you may recognize that he was our guest speaker and guest here in US, where we did a 21-day tour for him across 7 states. We also work very, very closely with other international agencies like World Bank. They have recognized us as an organization that is very, very much in tune with what diaspora needs. We also work very, very closely with the Central Bank of Kenya. In fact, we were very instrumental in supporting them to do the survey 2 years ago on diaspora remittances. And I'm happy to recognize here that diaspora remittances have been a big, big chunk of our development back in Kenya. In fact, currently almost like 371 billion Kenya shillings. We also work very closely with IEBC. We were very instrumental in their mapping exercise that they did last year when they were doing mapping for various voter registration centers. So we have all these partnerships that we're working together with. And recently, we've also been joined by other companies that have partnered with us. And I want to just mention a few of them here. One.
You muted yourself. Sorry, we can't hear you.
Robert, you're muted.
You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
And yes, now we can hear you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I don't know whether you heard that we have partners like Lima, who have been working with us on the area of solar power and helping our country back in getting renewable energy. We are also working very closely with WirePay. WirePay is one of the vendors that is going to be here, and WirePay is one of those fintech companies that is trying to help in terms of remittances and sending money back to Kenya. We are also working very closely with Farmers Network, and this is an organization that recently has introduced a one-stop for farmers to be able to get support through that particular app, where various services can be provided. We also have our proximity Wakanda city that we are developing back in Kenya as a way to have a city of return for all of us if we want to return back to our origin, to be able to develop our country even further. So that's part of what we do. I want to recognize the presence here of our executive leadership. We have Sarah, of course. Sarah Munyere is one of our publicity directors in One Voice Consortium, and also Dr. Jacob Ongaki, who is our policy and fundraising director. Other directors are like Professor Diangoi, who is our director of operations, and also Nyambura Rohio, who is our deputy secretary general. At this point, I want to see whether I can be able to welcome His Excellency Ambassador Lazarus Amayo, and I don't know whether he's in here. I want to quickly check.
Yes, he's present. He's present.
Yes. So thank you so much. I want to make sure that I formally introduce this great man who, you know, we all know him as our Balozi, and he is a man who has been very, very supportive of the diaspora. He's our ambassador of the Republic of Kenya, and also he has held various public positions, and his current assignment, including being also the ambassador and a permanent representative to the United Nations. And also he has been the High Commissioner of Kenya to United Kingdom, and also a permanent representative to the International Maritime Organization. Besides that, he's been very, very active also as a director of Europe and Commonwealth in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And also he has been the High Commissioner of Kenya to Zambia and Malawi, and also the permanent representative to COMESA. He has also been the head of international organizations and conferences within the ministry. He has also been active ambassador and a high commissioner to India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and other Far East countries. Ambassador Amayo, prior to diplomatic service, was also the chief executive of and also managing director of Catherine Levy Trustees, a parastatal in Kenya. And some of you may not know, but he was also one time elected as a member of parliament of Karachuonyo constituency in Kenya. So he was an active member of parliament of our 6th parliament. That was 1989 to 1992. I also want to say that he holds a Master's of Arts degree in political science from the University of Delhi, and also Bachelor of Liberal Arts from Spicer Memorial College in India. And he's been trained in management, international relations in Kenya, UK, and India. He's a member of the Kenya Institute of Management, and also the member of the Institute of Human Resource and a member of Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Ambassador Amayo is very, very widely traveled. He has been very, very supportive of the diaspora community. And so we saw him fit for him to open this Diaspora Expo and give us his guidance. So karibu, Ambassador Amayo.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chiuri. I was a bit uncomfortable because you are enumerating positions that we have had in the past. All I believe you would have said is that Ambassador Amayo is one of you. That's more than enough. And before going any further, let me declare that I'm not here alone. I'm here with my colleagues at the Embassy of the Republic of Kenya here in Washington, D.C. with Ambassador David Gasheru. David, I don't see your face, I heard your voice. Are you audible? David is still looking for his voice. I have Mr. Ndegwa, the head of Consular Services and Immigration. I believe, Ndegwa, can you wave at least so that they can see you? We also have joining us from Nairobi, Mr. Ngonga, the trade attaché. Mr. Ekitel, I think this is a well-attended meeting with so many pages. Oh, Mr. Ngonga is there waving also to you, but from Nairobi. Mr. Kitela, if he's around, he could also be waving. Maybe he's waving in another page that I'm not seeing. Not forgetting Mr. David Koech.
Balozi niko lakini kamera yangu iko na shida.
Okay, Mr. David Koech is also my colleague who deals with diaspora, education, and political issues. I have not seen Ekitela here, but Ekitela, are you there? Maybe he'll be joining. The second thing I wanted to say before making remarks, okay, Ambassador Gasheru has been found. Gasheru, can you wave? That's Ambassador Gasheru, the Deputy Chief of Mission. And I'd wanted to say that before proceeding that we have no intention of hurrying up your program. I'd requested an early slot because I had another engagement, but let me say that this is an important event. We have made small rearrangements, and so we'll be with you for a while. At least I'll be here for an hour, and then I'll attend to another session. And so I was just getting back to Dr. Chiuri that in case there's an aspect you'd have wanted us to take before the remarks, well and good. If not, I can still go ahead, make the remarks, and then listen to proceedings as a regular participant. I'm in your hands. Can you kindly indicate what would be the best way forward?
Balozi, thank you for those comments. I think it would be proper if you just proceeded with your remarks, and then we can be able to continue from there.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chiuri. And let me at this particular time acknowledge the leadership of Jambo List and the organizers, the sponsors, the exhibitors, and various representatives of diaspora organizations operating here in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, for the invitation you extended to me and my colleagues to join you on this very important occasion in which Jambo List holds the key of bringing us together to showcase what they're doing, where they would like to go, and also for us to appreciate the exhibitors and the vendors that are here in the desire to promote economic relations between Kenya and the United States. You'd recall that Kenya and the US enjoy warm and cordial, broad-based bilateral relations stemming from the time of independence. And in 2018, you are aware when President Kenyatta came and met with President Trump, it was elevated to that of a strategic partnership. And under that umbrella, we have made significant strides, meeting under the 5 pillars, one of which rightfully belongs to the chapter we're having this evening, and that is on economic cooperation or economic prosperity, matters of trade and investment. And so we're proud that Jambo List with Dr. Chiuri, and Dr. Chiuri, let me not forget to thank you for the energy you've had in efforts toward coordinating diaspora associations, which is not very easy for Kenya because we rightfully claim that we are relatively more democratic in that part of the world, and we enjoy our freedom of association, freedom of speech. And so we have several diaspora organizations, but I'm happy that this particular one you're leading has tried as much as possible to bring a number of groups together. The embassy does not choose for the diaspora how they relate. Our role is to facilitate and work with the diaspora, mainstream the diaspora in the national development agenda of Kenya, but diaspora decide and determine how they would like to organize themselves, and we have no say over that. Under that provision that I was talking about of warm and broad-based bilateral relations between Kenya and the United States, you'd recall that before COVID, the United States was the largest source for tourist arrivals in Kenya. US had overtaken the United Kingdom in terms of the tourists that visit our part of the world. The United States had also become our second largest export destination. And we have major investors from the US operating in Kenya, but our desire is to attract more, as most of you know that Kenya has done a lot in particularly the ease of doing business. Before World Bank suspended the program, we had actually moved from position 118 to 156 in 2020. Those are deliberate efforts made to make it easy for Kenyans and investors from abroad to have their business in Kenya. And so we are keen too on promotion of bilateral trade between Kenya and the United States, in which our diaspora and diaspora organizations are quite pivotal, operating and having several umbrellas, both as Kenyans, but also as investors from the US. Currently, of course, our bilateral trade between the United States and Kenya is roughly about $1 billion. The figures changing slightly year in, year out, but still in favor of Kenya. The last one was 600 million in favor of Kenya, and about 650 in favor of Kenya, or about 350 in favor of the United States. But you appreciate that the potential is much, much higher and wider than that. And so as you meet today, I'm happy with my colleagues that it goes towards helping to create awareness of the products that are available from Kenya that should be able to access the American market. And also with the wealth of experience you've acquired in this land, you could also help and stimulate efforts towards value addition so that we don't continue just to be exporters of raw materials or primary products from Kenya to the United States. You'd also be useful in promotion and creating awareness of the standards. And as a government also, we work on reducing the cost of operating in the country so that we remain competitive with our goods that would like to export to this important and large market in the United States. And so I don't want to bore you with too many things, but you are a pivotal player in Kenya's national development, and in this particular respect on matters trade and investment. We look forward to this endeavor. And Dr. Chiuri and the leadership of Jambo List, last year we had KEPSA signing an MOU with the Corporate Council for Africa, specifically for promotion of small and medium scale industries. This is an area that would like to pursue further, and would be glad if Dr. Chiuri, the diaspora organizations affiliated to you, or those that stand alone, and including, of course, our great partners here in Jambo List, could also borrow or pick a word from it so that you can be able to see how you are linked with these two organizations and benefit from what is available under them. I'll be asking Ambassador Gasheru to quickly explain the provisions that are there in the MOU, and particularly from the CCA side, on how some of our Kenyan-based or Kenyan-owned companies here in the United States could also consider joining CCA, and in that case be channels through which we can be able to expand not only our trade, but also investment from our side. I will not take you into many other areas. I believe Dr. Chiuri has already explained and gave quite a comprehensive report on the activities that you are currently carrying out. But suffice to say that we continue to trade with the US under AGOA provisions. AGOA was extended and is due to expire in 2025, while there are efforts also to have it renewed. We as Kenya had also engaged the US in discussions that could provide a secure framework for the future, which was stalled after the elections in 2020. But consultations are there at experts level on the way forward so that we can continue to trade with the US under AGOA. But if AGOA is if AGOA was not to be renewed, we still have a framework for collaboration. In this case, I wanted just to reassure you that whatever was started between Kenya and the US, Kenya entered and expressed rightfully at that time that we hold fidelity to obligations that we have with the East African community as a customs union. And we are also signatories, and actually Kenya was the second after Ghana in the ratification of the Continental Free Trade Agreement. And so whatever we discuss with third parties must be in compliance with provisions of the East African Customs Union, which in which case Article 37 allows engagement with third parties, but of course with subsequent concurrence with member states. In the same vein, we have part 2 of the CFTA agreement, creating a provision for third-party engagements. All I would like to say is that we are committed to promotion and playing of our rightful role in the East African community and in the African environment. And whatever we do will have compliance to the provisions in those areas. And back on AGOA, maybe many might not appreciate, but Kenya is among the top 5 major exporters under AGOA. And if you're to narrow it down, we are actually, I think, number 2 when it comes to those countries that export non-extractives. We are number 1, we were number 1 in the exports, no, number 2, exports that are not from the extractives, especially where we've been exporting textile and apparel, and of course, tea. No, in the US is coffee, tea, titanium, and flowers, and a few more. Our desire would be to see ways of increasing the basket, to diversify the products. The products are quite limited. If we can be able to diversify, increase the numbers, add value to them, would be in the mutual interest of both parties. But since today is a celebration of what Jambo List is doing, let me not bore you with too many other items, but I'm here with my colleagues. If there are questions that affect your operations, please feel free to touch base with us. I have Mr. Ndegwa, even if it is on consular issues, we should be able to answer them. And if there are issues on diaspora, we have Mr. Koech and Ambassador Gasheru also. But reassure our friends and partners that even as Kenya goes for elections in August, is a ritual we have every 5 years, and they hear more of us because of our freedom of expression. We are very active. We have a very active media and very active in the social media. That's our way. When the time for voting comes, we'll vote and we'll be able to move forward. That need not be a challenge. And so what I would add is that the private sector in Kenya would be grateful for partnership with you here in your dual capacity as an American and as also an investor that has roots back in the continent. Other issues on the diaspora we should be able to discuss on another occasion, but we are committed to and value the contribution of the diaspora in our national development agenda, and that is why the current Kenyan foreign policy recognizes diaspora as a pillar in promotion of this important agenda. And so once again, Dr. Chiuri and the leadership of Jambo List, the Embassy of Kenya is at your disposal. And let me add that with COVID having improved, the embassy has also increased now. Instead of doing consular work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have opened now, courtesy of Bwana Ndegwa and Bwana Omoga in DC, and Wamela trying his best in New York, and Mr. Mongare also in LA, to be able to serve Kenyans and others on consular services from Monday to Friday. And in this regard, if there are urgent cases for which during the time of the peak of COVID, appointments for getting getting passport or ID renewals took them to much later in the year or even next year, please send an email. Mr. Ndegwa is here. They have been able to review quite a number so that they can get early services much earlier than what was projected by the computer at that particular time. If there are issues, Mr. Ndegwa is here, and we are also at your disposal. Dr. Chiuri, back to you. And once again, congratulations to Jambo List and other diaspora organizations. And here we commit that we are at your service. virtually, and these days with opening up, we are also beginning to move into your territories because virtual is different from actual. If we were in an actual situation, once in a while also with Nyamachoma, the bonding is much, much greater than just seeing people virtually. I thank you once again, Kenyans, and Mungu awabariki. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Balozi. And in fact, this is the moment when we normally clap, and but by a show of hands, we are going to wave to you and say thank you for that wonderful remarks.
And sorry for disturbing you. I'd requested if Ambassador Gasheru could just explain one aspect on the cooperation or the MOU between KEPSA and CCA.
Yeah.
David.
Go ahead, Ambassador Gacheru.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that introduction. Just a little bit on that is, and I've shared it on our Common Diaspora website, is the Corporate Council of Africa and their counterpart in Kenya, KEPSA, have started a program of selecting 25 companies from each country. So KEPSA right now is selecting about 25 companies, small business, and then CCA is also selecting about 25 companies from the United States, so that they can merge these companies, or they can link these companies on synergies that are available for those companies. Our recommendation is that when you join KEPSA in Kenya, the 25 companies have to join KEPSA as a member. Likewise, in the US, if you have enough capacity to the CCA, Corporate Council of Africa, they have a package for small business. In addition to that, I would recommend US-based companies, SMEs, to leverage on SBA and become try to be members of Small Business Administration. It's a free membership, but most important, I recommend you getting certification. There's a certification called 8A. 8A S Corporation is a very important package, because when you get small business 8A, you become automatically qualified. When a big corporation do big project with the US federal government, they are required to chaperone smaller businesses. So if they give you an example of the Northern Granham get a big project, they are technically required to put in, to bring in other small businesses, but they choose from what is called 8A. You can Google that and you can check on that. So our recommendation is just to those diaspora companies that are there, that are viable, you can send your name and your account to Robert Shirley, and maybe he can communicate to us. Right now, they are looking for top 25 companies, and top 25 companies from US, and specifically for diaspora like you. If you have a good business and you think you can, you can be able to become membership of CCA, and it's a good thing to do. But most important, leverage on SBA, because the ideal goal is that SBA can finance you to do projects in Kenya as an American company. So at some point, it's always good to have a membership of SBA. The facility, the loan facility, and the funding opportunities are there, and you'll be able to work there on that. But more of that later on. But right now, we are looking for 25 companies. Companies become a member of CCA. Also will be linked to another 25 members, which KEPSA is looking on the other end. So they can be trying to link them up. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Gacheru, for that information regarding opportunities that are there through KEPSA and CCA, and we shall explore that opportunity through Jambo List and other organizations that are in One Voice Consortium. I also recognize you had already sent it earlier, that information, Ambassador, and we have actually started communicating on that same information on the innovation that you had sent out on the WhatsApp pages. So thank you.
Robert, with that, I would also suggest Ambassador Gacheru and Mr. Ngonga, there'll be no harm in putting it on the website for those perhaps that didn't get it easily, so that it appears on our website, and Dr. Chiuri and Jambo List can also circulate it so that as many Kenyans as possible get an opportunity to be able to absorb. And once again, as I said, we are at your service. In the next 3 months, you'll see us more on the economic side. When it is the meetings which are of a campaign nature, the embassy would not be active participants. You'd expect us as civil servants to give you the chance to do that without our active involvement as your civil servants. So when you don't see us in some of them is because of that background. But we are available for you on all other avenues that you'd like, in which you'd like to get services from us as an embassy. I thank you once again, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Balozi Amayo, and also Balozi Gachero, and also the embassy staff. We appreciate you of the way that you have opened the embassy to the services of the diaspora, and we are in partnership together to improve the diaspora. Thank you very much. Now, I'll hand over back to Sarah Munyere and the team at Jambo List. They have other things that they have for us. And over to you, Sarah.
It's okay. It's over to me, Mogore.
Okay.
So good.
Over to Mogore.
Yes. I just want to actually just say thank you to our ambassador. It was wonderful to hear you tell Dr. Shiori that he should have just introduced you as one of us, because we really value you and we know that you are one of us. And we cannot even just to say thank you for coming here to just support Jambo List. It's been a great journey for us, and it's a beginning of a great journey. And we are committed to growing the partnership in business between Kenya and the United States. That is our goal. We want our communities to be strong economically. So we appreciate you. And we also appreciate you, Ambassador Gachero, for even sharing with us about SBAs and about CAPSA. So we do not take your time for granted. It is always appreciated. And we know that when we call you again, you are always going to be here to support the Kenyans and what the Kenyans are doing. Dr. Shiori, you have been a great collaborator for us at Jambo List. Thank you for adding value to our company. We cannot take you for granted. So this evening, we are going to proceed with the next part of the event, which is going to be now going over with we're going to have the next event, which is going to have the CEO of Housing Finance speak, but I'm going to ask our MC to take it from here. Thank you so much. And if you happen to log off before we are done, we are still very grateful. We know you have another commitment, and we know that you will going to continue spreading the word about what Jambo List is doing to better the Kenyans and the business community in the US and in Kenya. Thank you so very much.
All right, thank you, Mogore. We've had a good session so far. We just want to thank everybody who's preceded this moment. A lot of heavy hitters, especially we are just very grateful that we have the ambassador, as well as all the other contributors up to this point. We have quite a good number of people. If you can look at the participants, we have a good amount of people. And the reason why that is so is because people are coming here to get value for what is being presented. So at this point, before I introduce Mr. Kibara, who is the CEO of Housing Finance Kenya, I just want to mention something. I think having the housing finance was very innovative. The house that we lived in actually was financed by housing finance. I think they had a strategy that a lot of people didn't have at that point. So we're getting something that is innovative, has been enduring, was groundbreaking, and I'm sure they have a lot more for the future as well. So at this point, without further ado, I just want to introduce Robert Kibara, who's the CEO of Housing Finance. He's a renowned banker, over 26 years in experience, excellent record of accomplishment in driving change, revenue mobilization, delivering outstanding business results. Maybe some of you might have bought a house with Housing Finance. He's previously held leadership positions as a retail director at NIC Bank, executive director at National Bank of Kenya, Standard Chartered, amongst other executive positions at Barclays Bank of Kenya too. And this is the kicker right here. He holds an MBA degree from Strasbourg University. I feel I relate to that because I went to Strasbourg University as well. So I'm gonna be all ears because I know he's gonna have a lot of good stuff. And then also he has a finance degree from University of Sunderland, UK, postgraduate diploma from the Chartered Institute of Marketing in the UK. With all that, I'd like to say that let's have our ears open, get your questions answered. He's gonna have 10 minutes to connect with us. One of the reasons why people don't make decisions quickly is because they don't feel empowered to make those good decisions. One of the biggest hindrances to planning ahead is fear, lack of information, knowing how to develop a strategy. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mr. Robert Kibara, the CEO of Housing Finance. Please take the stage.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Barnabas. I'd like to start by acknowledging our very own ambassador, Lazarus Amayo, Ambassador Gashero, Daktari Robert Shiori, our team from Jambo List, Sarah Mogore. Thank you very much for inviting us. We are glad to have joined you today. My name, as has been said, is Robert Kibara. I'm joined today by a couple of colleagues. Patrick Jr. is our director for retail banking. Tony Agira is our director in charge of strategy and business performance. We have also Jenny Mana, who heads our personal banking division. So today we are glad to join you. It is 2 a.m. here actually in Kenya. And I know obviously I can see some people in the office. So for us today actually was a public holiday to actually yesterday, because today is 30th now here. We were obviously commemorating or celebrating the life of our beloved late former president, Mwai Kibaki. And so again, later today, on the same 30th, they will be laying him to rest in Nyeri. I am personally taking the call from a small town called Nyahururu in Kenya, and it's just testament that Kenya also is opening up as a country, but my other colleagues are actually in Nairobi. So today, colleagues, fellow Kenyans, we are going to just cover very quickly, just 4 quick areas. Every time we have a conversation with colleagues and other fellow Kenyans, especially from diaspora, we like to just add value so that then it can be worthwhile for you that you joined us today. So we'll spend a very short time actually talking about ourselves, but more about you. So we will share with you just a bit about who we are as a company. We will talk about some of the things you need to think about, especially because of the environment that we have just gone through as a people, both as here in Kenya and of course the world. We've been going through a very difficult time, and it's kind of been worsened by the Russians, as you know. So what are the things you need to think about as you are investing at home or thinking about setting up businesses at home? We'll also share with you some of the opportunities that we see here in Kenya. We as bankers sit in a almost advantage situation because we can tell what businesses are thriving, what opportunities are thriving, because when clients come to us, they tell us everything. So if I was to set up a business, I would probably know, because there is a lot of people who come and tell us all manner of what is happening as they seek loans from us. So we'll share with you some of the thoughts, some of the opportunities we are seeing. And if you are thinking about doing business at home, what are the bets? What are the best bets? And then later, towards the end, we'll just talk about how we can then partner with you. So we'll just get started, a very quick one. I'll just run through this because our time is short. And if you can just get started, who is us? So we actually are no longer called Housing Finance. We are called HF Group, but the banking arm of our group is called HFC. So we talk more these days about HFC than Housing Finance, but obviously a lot of our diaspora Kenyans left us when we were being called Housing Finance, but we did change actually our name to HFC. So we have a group. HF Group has 4 entities. We have HFC, which is the banking arm. This is the one that provided, that in the past provided just mortgages, but these days we do a lot more. We have an insurance intermediary called HFBI, which is an insurance business. We have HFDI. HFDI is the property development arm of the group. So we have built about 18,000 houses in Kenya. And then, of course, we have a foundation. The foundation mainly trains artisans. We just support artisans to be able to become better at their trade. So HF Group is the non-operating trading company, non-operating holding company for our group. And I just happen to be then the team leader of that group. Who owns us? So we are owned by 42% public, 21,000 shareholders. We are owned by about 10% by government and NSSF combined. We are owned 48% by Britam. And equity, so we have, in terms of Britam is owned by Equity Investment, 16%, a consortium of mainly international investors, 17%, Swiss Re, which is a Swiss, large Swiss insurance company, about 14%, NSSF 12%, and an arm of World Bank, IFC, owns about 9% of Britam. So that's really our ownership. That's who owns us. If we move forward, this is just, we have had a very strong heritage. So these are some of the estates you may have left. The older ones, the more recent ones would be the ones on the next page. So as I said, I've talked about 18,000 houses. These are the more recent properties we built, 480 houses in Komarok, 80 units in Clay City, Kahawa Downs 280. The top ones have also been sold out. We have a few units left at the bottom there. So Fahari Residence are actually plots that we've been selling in a more or less upmarket location along Bika Road. We've got other properties that we still have are selling. And as you can see, we do a proper professional job, like always, like what we have done. We've been in operation since 1965. We are publicly listed on the stock exchange in Kenya, and we continue to be strong and to play within the property market. However, recently we then diversified. So now we are a full service bank. So we actually offer personal banking, we offer diaspora banking, we offer institutional banking, we offer, of course, diaspora banking, SME banking. So we've got quite a number of businesses that we have today. So we are not just doing mortgages, but we still do our bread and butter, which has been mortgages. We are, between us and the KCB Bank in Kenya, we have got about half of all the mortgages in Kenya. So we still play quite strong in the mortgage sector in Kenya. So if we can proceed. So that's all we are going to say about ourselves for now. We just want to then to talk a bit. I want to request that if the person who is unmuted can please mute.
I can have a candy right here. Oh, okay. And then the toys up there, I've left.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to talk then about, just share with you some thoughts around some of the things you may want to think about when investing in Kenya. Firstly, let me start by saying that we have gone through a difficult time. Of course, it's debatable whether we are still in the pandemic or not. I know Dr. Fauci said that we are past the pandemic in the US, but we can see obviously a big challenge in China. There is an eruption of infection. So it's debatable whether we are still going through the pandemic, but the truth is that we've gone through a difficult time. And this time can be described as what we call VUCA, V-U-C-A. And VUCA, Tony, if you can move just forward a little. If you can just move forward a little. VUCA is basically a very volatile environment. We've gone through obviously a pandemic, the current Russian war. We are obviously have elections going on in Kenya in just a few months. This time it's been a lot quiet, so we don't expect that things are going to become difficult. And then, of course, you've got other factors that are going on. So if you look at just the shilling, which would be of interest to you, versus the dollar, that has been the trend on the left, on the top left. I don't think you are going to be complaining about this because obviously the higher the rate of the shilling does help the conversion of dollars. But for somebody who is buying medicine from Kenya, bringing into Kenya, this is a big deal. For somebody who is importing essentials from outside the country, this is actually a big deal, and it has wreaked havoc on fuel and other things here in the country. So we've gone through a very volatile time, so we know that things change, but we don't know how they might change and how even to get ready for it. Of course, we've gone through some uncertainty, quite a bit of uncertainty over time, we have had changes that are unexpected, and we don't even know how long things are going to take. For instance, we don't know how long Russia will continue fighting Ukraine, and that does have an effect on us. As you know, currently fuel in Kenya is about almost 150 shillings a liter, and that's actually causing quite a bit of challenges in the market. Then you have, of course, complexity. It's been a complex environment, and then clarity. Lack of clarity also is another area. So those three combined, then how do we then navigate? How do we navigate despite obviously the fact that we have been going through this season and we don't know how long it's going to last? But if you just go back, Tony, to the first slide, one of the things we normally say in banking is that never waste a crisis. Never waste a crisis. In any crisis, there are actually silver lining, and we are going to share with you some of the opportunities there are, despite what's been going on. Yeah. But of course, you've got to be very clear about what you want. So we've seen a lot of people, especially would-be investors in Kenya, are sadly losing money in different opportunities. And sometimes just to be very, very clear about what you want and just keep at it. So if we just go through some of the things then that you may want to think about, when you go through, like for instance, if you are either in business or as an individual, when you're going through this kind of season, like what we have gone through, this time it's best to think about preserving capital and saving. I think one of the things that COVID has shown us is the need to actually put aside something. I know obviously Kenya and the US is a very consumer kind of market. People just spend. But one of the things that COVID has shown us is that it's just good sometimes to put in some investments. And when you go through a period of uncertainty, especially if you're running a business, as bankers, we advise that put away capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is basically those things that put away money for a very long time. Liquidity is king, actually, during a difficult and uncertain time. And for instance, especially for people here, if you've got businesses or investments in Kenya, having them in a semi-liquid state actually does help. And of course, management, of course. As an individual saving and investing, and then of course, I like talking about liability expenditure. Liability expenditure is basically expenditure that puts away money from your pocket, removes money from your pocket. There are two types of expenditures. There is what you can call assets, which is basically something that puts money in your pocket continuously. Like for instance, if you put up a property for rent, it will be putting money every month in your pocket. Now, if you invest, for instance, in a car, and I'm not saying we don't have cars, we shouldn't have cars, everybody needs a car. If we chase the latest and the latest and the latest, what normally happens then is that all those remove money from your pocket. And over time, obviously, it gets a lot more difficult to save, it gets a lot more difficult to invest. And then, of course, debts normally build up. So as bankers, then we advise that it's best to balance between those investments that continually just remove money from your pocket and the ones that add. And more importantly, during the season like what we have gone through. And of course, financial planning is important. And of course, we can help you as an institution to do that. Now, another thing to think about is just the area of risk and reward. Risk and reward. And it's always said that the higher the risk, the higher the reward. But when it's an uncertain environment, especially just here in Kenya, for instance, what we're going through, the risk is multiplied. The risk actually does get multiplied. Let me just give you an example. So if you have seen a very good business opportunity, somebody here in Kenya has told you there's this excellent opportunity, there is obviously some risk that you could lose money. But in an uncertain environment, the risk gets multiplied. I have a friend who has just invested in a bakery somewhere in Western Kenya. And she set up that bakery. And then right now, obviously, you know that Kenya gets a lot of its wheat from Ukraine. So obviously there's a big challenge of that commodity in Kenya. Fuel prices are higher. And there's a big challenge of palm oil in Indonesia. So we get a lot of palm oil from the Far East. So cooking oil is very expensive, as for your information now here in Kenya. So what happens then is that if you are running a bakery, you need cooking oil, you need fuel to transport bread, and you need to buy the wheat. And you can imagine how much then that has been. So balancing risk and reward then is actually very important. And how do you then think about that? Most of it is getting a lot more information and research around the investment that you're likely to get into. If you plan to get into real estate, we can help you a lot with that because we have been in this for a very long time. We can tell you what's good, what is in the Dongo report, what you are more likely going to be conned, and just getting a lot more information and sometimes just removing emotion. Because sometimes we invest with the heart, but a good investment is a well-researched one. It's a much more well-researched one, whether it's a business, whether it's an investment. And there is a lot of, obviously, quite a bit of scams going on everywhere here, and obviously, I'm sure where you are logging in from. So more importantly, when we are going through this kind of VUCA environment, risk and reward is very important, and risk gets multiplied during the time when you are actually a country is going through uncertainty. But there are opportunities, and I'll be talking about those a little bit later, so it's not all gloom. There are opportunities, but it's just good to think about these things because sometimes we, as investors, get excited. As bankers, we don't get excited. We really ask ourselves, are my assumptions true? Do my assumptions hold? I've been told this is good, but is it really good? It is actually true. Do the numbers add up? Does the research confirm that? How can I confirm that information independently without relying on just a few people? And that way, then you are able to save and protect your investment. And sometimes also there's a question of how long does it take? So you have investment opportunities that take unacceptably long to realize. And so therefore, that whole risk-reward balance is actually quite important. Now, the other thing to think about And this is something that we see all the time, and a lot with the both what we can call the mainly investors, is that when you're investing, you have to think about whether you want to do business or you want to do a personal investment. Now, if you are going to do business and you operate in, say, for instance, the US or the UK, running a business from an offsite location is not straightforward. And then, of course, there is usually an assumption, which is a false assumption, that a relative is safer than another person. So let me say why it's not true. So for instance, for us in the bank, we employ people from all walks of life. We do a bit of a background check. We check, of course, their education, their qualifications. And if we find that they are okay, we hire them. We don't know them. They are not our relatives. We don't care where they come from. So long as they have the qualifications, we hire them. Then we put in controls in our business. For instance, HFC runs branches all over the country. So tomorrow, Saturday, we will open our branches in many, many locations. I'm the CEO of the group, and I'm here in Nyahururu. And those businesses are going to operate and close. And they'll be run by people who are not relatives. They are basically strangers. And they will run those businesses and close, and we are not going to lose money. There are also businesses, for instance, international businesses, such as international banks that run businesses in Kenya. And the owners have never come here, and they are operated by people. They are not their relatives, and those businesses run. So that thing of saying that I have my cousin, is actually false. In fact, it's worse because you can't take your relative to the police if they mess up. But there are three things you have got to think about when setting up a business. One of them is systems, and typically that talks about mainly about technology that you're going to use to monitor and to control that enterprise. The other one is people. How are you going to regulate people? How are you going to hire? How are you going to discipline? How are you going to have a code of conduct? How are you going to reward them, compensate them? How are you going to control them? Not control in the negative sense, but sorry, I got muted a bit. How are you going to make sure that you don't then lose that you're able to monitor what is going on? So that's business. So if you want to invest in a business, say in Kenya, it requires a lot of time and a lot of monitoring. And sadly, a lot of people have invested and set up businesses, and then it never ended up working well because of those three. So there are three things: systems, processes, and people. Then on the other hand, there is investment. Now, investment is where you are investing money, say for instance, a personal investment, for purposes of you are basically off. You are not going to be running it on a day-to-day basis, but it's going to be bringing you money. For instance, you can invest, say, in a real estate, like for instance, a rental house. Buy a property, rent it out, get somebody to a good property agent to run it for you, and it brings you money. Or you can put some money in the bank. You can borrow money, say in US at 2% or 3%, and invest it here at 8, 9, 10%. So you can make money in between. You can invest in government paper. You can put money with us, for instance, in the bank. That is also an investment. But there is a big difference between then setting up a business and investing. Investing is where it's a little bit more hands-free. It brings you money. It's a personal investment. Business is where you are actually going to make money. If you build houses for sale, that's a business. And it requires a lot of management to actually get it done. And I see that confusion causes a lot of people to lose money. So we don't have a lot of time to discuss that, but I just thought about some of the things that you may think about. Now, let me go to opportunities because I have very little time. I know I'm running out of time. Some areas to think about. One of them is, and our ambassador talked about this, import-export. There is a lot of opportunities for import-export. The people who know about what is required abroad are the people on this call. Now, the people who have the things to export in Kenya don't know where they are required and how to do it. The people who would know don't do it. And that is how Kenya doesn't export. So the guys who would know are sitting abroad, they don't do it. The people who are here don't know where to send the goods, and therefore, eventually, actually, nobody does it. And that is how then we lag behind. As opposed to Indians, if you look at Indians, actually, India does a lot of export, whether it is clothes, whether it is agriculture, because the diaspora plays their part and the locals play their part. And I want to challenge people on this call. Think about something that can be used where you are and get it from here and sell it there. That is one of the opportunities. Or think about something that we can use here in Kenya and get it from there and bring it here. That's a big opportunity for the people who are on this call. The second one, and I'm going to rush through, there is a big opportunity here in Kenya for health. We have huge gaps. There is insufficient investments in health. And the population is increasing. We used to be 10 million a long time ago. Now we are 50 million. Hospitals are not increasing as many as they are. Getting, for instance, a CT scan where I am here in Nyahururu is difficult. There are probably two places where you can do dialysis. And you don't even have to be a doctor. This is going to be a big opportunity, and it is going to increase as the population increases. And obviously, the government has done a good job, but can't really reach everywhere. And that's one of the areas that we are seeing. The people we know who have set up hospitals and health facilities are doing well. But let me also give you a tip. Rather than buying a relative of yours here in Kenya, a matatu, why don't you buy them an ambulance? You bought them an ambulance, and they just went to a few hospitals and just say they have an ambulance. That ambulance will be at work tomorrow, and all you need to hire is paramedics, and they are in business. So it's just a tip, and just to show what opportunities there are. The next opportunity I'm just rushing through is education. Education is just another big area. We are changing the curriculum now to something called CBC, pretty much what you have in the US. And a lot of people don't know about this, but this is going to be a big opportunity. Most Kenyans now, especially the people who are in class 6, are moving to junior high school. And there is a lot that is required. New laboratories, new classrooms, new books. And this then has emerged as a big opportunity for people. And the people who are getting into this area are actually doing well today in Kenya. And the final one is digital business. Kenya has become increasingly digitized. There is a lot of all these delivery services. And there is obviously what usually US is normally ahead of us. And if there is something that is delivered digitally in the US that you would think that can work here, just go ahead and do it. Most Kenyans now have a smartphone, and most people are online. Internet penetration is very high now, and these opportunities in digital business continue to be there. So those are the areas that we see that are going to grow and grow quickly. And if you are thinking about investing in Kenya in a business, then that's a good opportunity. So how can we work with you in conclusion? It doesn't matter what you would like, whether you would like to invest in either real estate or you'd like to save, or you'd like a credible partner who has been in this business for a very long time. We have got properties that we can share with you. If you go to our website, you can see a marketplace where we set up properties. We have a 24/7 contact center that you can reach us on. We've got relationship managers that you can reach us on, and we'll be very happy to work with you in whichever way that you'd like as you invest in Kenya. And of course, even advice on where you can go right and where things can go wrong. And for a lot of diaspora people, things have not always worked, especially when you deal with people who are not trustworthy. We've been in this game for a long time. This company is going to outlive us. It has outlived the people who started it, and so with us. And I just want to say proudly this, that all the projects we have done, none of them has ever had a problem. We've handed over keys to every project we have ever done, all those 18,000 houses that we have done. So I just wanted to share with you those thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for listening. I just thought we can then add some value to you, at the same time share with you what we can be able to do together. Thank you, and over to the organizers. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow. I just want to thank you so much, Mr. Robert Kibara. For some who thought that he was going to be coming out to sell a product, we realized that he's actually providing value. People want to know that you can trust them before you can start doing business with them. So that was awesome. And I'm glad that we share the same college. You represented Strathmore well and a few other places that you've been to. So I want to thank you so much. One thing that a great takeaway, you say, never waste a crisis. There's always a silver lining. And I've also learned that for every crisis, there's an equal opportunity. So you've laid it out so well. Just want to thank you so much. And one other thing too, for the Kenyans that he mentioned, he say that we have an opportunity gap. And in that, I'm just thinking about, for instance, zile mayai that we used to sell in the kiosk. They're poop covered mayai. You cannot export those to the US or to the UK. They have to be cleaned up and everything. So there's a lot of value in all the stuff that you said, and we really appreciate that, setting a good foundation for doing business. And moving along, just the same way that we got great value, talking about systems, processes, and people, and all that we've heard. I want to just welcome, without further ado, Mr. Hudson. I'm not sure if you're available, Mr. Hudson from RatherPay. And as it comes up on stage, I'd just like to let everybody know that we'll have breakaway sessions where you'll have more insight into not just these vendors that we are seeing right now, but other vendors. And it might be a better opportunity for us to be able to even ask questions if that's possible. But stay on. We'll have even a better session. So Mr. Hudson, if you will kindly step up on the stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm blessed to be with you. It's, of course, 2:34 in Nairobi, but we are very blessed to have this session. I'm Hudson Miti, and I'll be just sharing with you a few glimpses about RatherPay. We started in, of course, all protocol observed. I will not go through the nitty-gritties of this and that, but allow me to observe all the protocols and our ambassador and everyone present, including the organizers. RatherPay as a company, we started in 2018. And basically what we are doing is to bridge the gap that has been there between the use of digital assets and the use of fiat. I know some of us are not privy to digital assets, but I would just simply mean being able to pay without the cash, but also leveraging on the future technologies like you've heard of several digital assets. And of course, being able to allow people that have various digital assets, use them on a daily basis, like for the things that we need to have on a daily basis. Now, why is this very important? Because we know that the future of payments and the future of things is in digital payments. So we can only start preparing ourselves and we can start leading the world and make sure that by the time everyone is into digital payments, we as people from Kenya and people from Africa and globally, we are taking the lead. Of course, I must remind ourselves that we have very many projects that have started from Kenya and have made all of us proud. We know the M-Pesa story that started here. We are proud of it. Wherever we go, everywhere, we know M-Pesa is something, it's a force to reckon, and many parts of the world are picking from it. Similarly, RatherPay did come up with a way of bridging that gap that has been there. And We looked at fiat, that is the local currencies in different countries. We looked at digital assets like many of you use, let's say Bitcoin, use Ethereum, use there are many. And we say, how can we enable the mama bogas? How can we enable the people on farms to use digital payments? Because we know that it's only time we will be using digital payments. So we came up with platforms that are able to bridge that gap and enable people globally to use digital payments. And as my other colleagues and what I heard from the ambassadors, you know that we are in a world where technology is becoming very important, where we need to make sure that even as you transact globally, you are in one village. So we are offering that and being able to make a difference. However, I will also say that in order for us to bridge this gap as a company, we had to come up with a number of measures. Of course, one of the targets was to make sure that we are in many countries globally so that we can support the people in the diaspora that want to make payments, that wants to move money, because that used to be a challenge. So right now, we are in over 35 countries and growing a network. And we are borrowing from, of course, the communities that have made it, like the previous banks that have made it, like Equity, looking at the community, supporting the community. It's the same approach that we are taking to make sure that we can all embrace, of course, the use of digital assets. And of course, this necessitated us to have an equal-like of digital assets, and that's what we call RPX, which is a native token of RatePay that supports all other projects that are being designed to make sure that there's more usage of digital assets, to make sure that there's more access, and to make sure that there's more continuity. So because of this, as a company, we came up with an ecosystem that is very interesting and that powers the use of digital assets globally. And this ecosystem is what I will emphasize, and then I'll wind up for today. Of course, many people want to know, if I have these digital payments and have this digital asset, then what is there? How can I use it? RatePay has a utility wallet. What I mean by utility wallet, a wallet that has been designed to anchor payments, okay? Talk about topping up airtime, if you want to send money, if you want to tap and pay, all that has been anchored in a wallet, which makes it more easier for the people in diaspora. What we are saying here is that gone are the days when you will have to first send money to someone in Kenya, maybe on M-Pesa to withdraw, or you send through Western Union, the person picks the money and you don't know whether that money will reach the destination. You have capacity to push that straight to someone that, of course, is able to receive the money. So how have we done that? We partnered with people globally that have been licensed to offer the services, and we put them on one platform to ease the use of our services, to ease the use of payments. Let it be payment of utilities like a KPLC, like water. You can now be able to do that from wherever you are without any hitches, which is something good. However, of course, that wouldn't be very successful if we didn't have an ecosystem that is very interesting. And this ecosystem, I'll just emphasize that and explain how it works. And then all of us will understand better what we're doing. So in order to support digital payments, we came up with our own digital asset, which is RPX, and an ecosystem that supports whatever we are talking about. And one of them is our own e-commerce platform that has been designed to support not only the farmers who have farms, who are having produce, but also support manufacturers and support SMEs to make sure that their products can be marketed globally, their products can be listed. So that is what we call Ritunda Marketplace, which is our e-commerce platform. It's our e-commerce marketplace. Now, Ritunda supports what we call Ritunda Village Hubs. Okay, these village hubs have been set up to support farmers to access farm implements, to access seeds, to access pesticide at affordable rate, but at the same time, being able to support them when they need to do value addition. And when they add value addition to their products, we support them to have their products listed and of course certified. And we are getting into the next phase of our e-commerce platform, where we will be now supporting them to even export to the different markets. That is very exciting. Of course, this is important to notice that when they pay with RPX, which is a own native digital asset, they buy discounted, though they have ability like in Kenya to pay with M-Pesa, they can use their card to make payments. But when they use RPX, of course, there are discounts that come with that. And of course, that is supported by Itumiro Logistics, which is our own logistics company. When someone makes purchase or when someone wants to send a product, they need a company that is able to offer them affordable services and to move their products. So we know that even in the US, Itumiro will be very, very instrumental in not only supporting people that are bringing products to the US, but also those that are sending products back to Kenya. So Itumiro Logistics is very key in that. Again, when we make payments, of course, if you pay with the RPX, you pay discounted. Of course, that is very important for all of us to keep in mind. And of course, together with that is a payment gateway, which has 7 systems, enabling people to tap and pay, enabling people to pay for utilities, enabling people to top up airtime globally, and easing the stress that people always have when they need to access airtime, when they need to pay utilities, when they need to send funds to people's projects, or if they are building or doing construction. So payment gateway is very important. And all this is anchored around RPX using different platforms. I will highlight, of course, a very interesting project, which is the Smart Kit. This is a project that has been designed to make sure that we impact the young ones with financial literacy. And our target here is to make sure that if we are to produce the next year's or future billionaires, they should be by design. They should be people that have been nurtured to make sure that they live in the future technologies and leverage on the future technologies to support their communities, but also to support their families, because they'll be different. So we have the Smart Kid project that has been designed to train children in financial literacy. And this is the 360 degrees approach towards making families better, making families wealthy. So we are looking at how RefPay as a company will be continuing in the future. So that is very important. And as we train the children from 4 years up to university, we know that we will be making a difference in our communities. And of course, I will also say that it's important to note that we, under our REF community industrial zones, where we rally communities together, enable them to produce, enable them to certify the products, and enable them to market the product. This initiative, working together with RPX, is going to change our communities and it's going to change our lives. We've already piloted in a number of places in Kenya, and so far it's very amazing to see the appetite people have to do value addition. So if you are in the diaspora and interested in supporting your communities in value addition, in training the children, in making sure that communities can understand where we are going when it comes to digital payments, then the choice that we would like you to think about today is RPX. But I would also love to highlight the fact that RPX as a digital asset, and because of the utility that we've built around it, and because of the support in Kenya and the support we have globally, we are seeing that the value of our RPX is growing every single day. And people here in Kenya and people in the diaspora can leverage on this to even generate more funds for bigger projects. So if you are the kind of person that is interested in coming up with bigger projects in the next 1 year or 2 years and looking for a place to invest, you can look at RefPay, you can look at RPX, and you can look at our ecosystem and be part of it. And be sure that you will leverage on what we have to change the communities and to earn even more in the near future as we grow the price of RPX. So that's what I wanted to share. And because of the utility around, we can only see that RPX is a treasure that one must hold and one must have as we dig deep into using digital payments as a way of making payments globally. So thank you so much. I've tried to summarize within the minutes that have been given. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hudson. That was amazing. And I'll just transition straight to Sarah.
Thank you so much, Barney. We are now going to introduce all our other companies in a video. It is a short video, and then after this, we will go straight to the booths. So pay attention as we share the companies that are represented today in a video.
Jambo List is proud to host the following companies during our 2-day virtual Business Expo. The Embassy of Kenya in Washington, D.C. is the Republic of Kenya's diplomatic mission to the United States and is headed by His Excellency Lazarus Amayo. Synergy Learning offers data analytics training for people of all ages. If you are looking for a career change without encountering mountains of student loans, take a class with Synergy. RetherPay Wallet, a global decentralized network that makes the future of digital payment a reality. HF Group is an integrated property and financial solution provider that is registered as a non-operating holding company and regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya, turning dreams into homes. GeoNet Group. GeoNet Communication Inc. is an international long-distance service provider in the US and a parent company of GeoNet Communication Limited, a Tier 2 telecom in Kenya. Pit and Pit Investors offer courses on stocks, options, and futures trading. Communities seeking to empower each other find opportunities to build wealth for the next generation. Danga Investments, providing accounting, financial, and tax services to both individuals and businesses. We can help you to let your money work for you. Pink House Management Limited, real estate company that sells acres of land available in various prime locations ready for development. They also have houses for sale and offer management services. Royal Concept LLC is registered in the state of Florida. We are a real estate developer located in Southwest Florida and a one-stop shop for everything you need to acquire residential or commercial investment properties, vacation homes, retirement homes, rentals, etc. W. Lois Kahangi is a highly rated matrimonial and family law attorney in New Jersey. Your family lawyer for your family matters. Swahili Cultural Institute. Swahili Cultural Institute is a language and cultural institute that promotes the preservation, learning, knowledge of Swahili and other African languages, culture, and heritage. Our language, our culture. WirePay. Send money stress-free, simplifying how Africans living abroad bank and move money. Committed to transforming the world one transaction at a time. With WirePay, it is safe, proximity point city of return. The concept of a world-class city located in Malindi was developed by Africans in the diaspora, all in the smart city that connects you and your roots and your future. Come home to the city of return today. African Touch Adventures Limited, Safaris Beyond Adventures. Over 15 years of serving and exceeding customers' expectations for all your travel, vacations, furnished apartments, and safari needs. Mimi's Creation. Mimi's Creation basket fills in the gap of gifting to the one great friend, relative, family member, or a kind gesture to a loved one, especially at times like now where it calls for kindness, gentleness, love, name it. List is endless. Farmers Networks. Farmers Networks is an agricultural enterprise mobile application that provides smallholder farmers with solutions to address their needs across the entire value chain as the product moves from farm to table. One Voice Consortium. The consortium is a non-profit organization that was established as a broader umbrella coalition of organizations, councils, and similar entities. Reliable Care Staffing Solution. Healthcare staffing agency in New Jersey, North and South Carolina, offering employment in RN, LPNs, CNAs, MedTechs, CPAs, SITAs, and dietary aids. And finally, our host, Jambo List. Jambo List, marketing and consulting company that is hosting this expo. Their mission is to connect African-owned businesses with consumers worldwide. We offer a free business directory as well as a paid services to advertise your businesses.
Thank you so much. Now we are going to go straight to the booths. Now that we all have an idea of who is here, hopefully you got the booth number, but if you didn't, we still have that available for you. So we are now going to invite Ms. Irene Gishinga to walk us through on a few protocols on booth so that we all be able to join in. Welcome, Irene.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah. And I'm so happy to be part of this great event. I didn't know that there was so much that is happening in this country. And I've learned so much right from what the embassy has presented, our ambassadors, Amayo and Kasheru, and also all the other speakers. This was very nice. So we are all looking forward to the next session, which I believe is many people want to see. What do these people, these exhibitors or these vendors, what do they have to offer to us? And so who would have thought that in the absence of physical space, the physical ability to go to an exhibition, who would have thought that it is possible to attend an exhibition right in the comfort of our homes? The pandemic has enabled that, and we are going to do that through breakout rooms. And I know many people are already familiar with how breakout rooms work, but I also know that there could be also many people who are not familiar with how they work. And so my role here is just to explain how we are going to go about it. I'm gonna share how we are going to go about it. So as the video has introduced, we have 19 breakout booths or 19 breakout rooms. They are already named according to the booth numbers and according to the vendors or the presenters, the exhibitors. So yours is to join whatever group you want to join. If you want to, and you'll have an opportunity to get into as many booths as possible within the allocated time. I believe we have allocated 1 hour for this purpose. And so what happens is as soon as the breakout rooms are opened, you will have an opportunity to click join. If, for example, the first place you want to go is Kenya Embassy, then join by clicking on this. Or if you want to go to GeoNet, go to join and you will be able to get into the room. And as soon as you're there, you will get a message that you are now in a breakout room where you'll find a vendor and a moderator who will be able to answer any technical issues that there may be. Now, once you've been in that room for a period of time, say you feel that you've gathered enough information and it's time to move on to the next room, either if you're using a computer, at the bottom of your computer, you're gonna see this small icon, which is it's 4 rectangles which say breakout rooms. And if you click on it, it will bring the same list of the available rooms. And so again, here you'll have to, for example, if you are in the GeoNet breakout room and you want to go to Thanga, then you'll just have the opportunity to now click join Thanga and you will immediately leave GeoNet and you will join Thanga. So one thing that you need to be very much aware of is that if you want to leave the room maybe you've already gone through all the rooms and you want to go back to the main session, you can still be able to, but be careful, just leave the room. Make sure you're not leaving the meeting, because if you leave the meeting, then you will not be able to continue with the proceedings. So with that explanation, I hope that's clear. I hope everybody will be able to join. But in any case, if anybody is not able to join, is still in the main room, we are going to have myself and also Sarah and other people who can be able to guide you into whatever room you want to go. So following that explanation, I'm gonna open the breakout rooms, and again, just join the first room you want to. Some people have already been pre-assigned to rooms, especially the ones who are helping Jambo List. So those people will stay, everybody knows the room they've been assigned to, and they're gonna stay there for the duration of the session, and maybe they'll have another opportunity to attend other rooms, but not today. So without further ado, I'm gonna stop sharing and I will open the breakout rooms. So just once the rooms have been opened, just go to the room. Okay. We are gonna close all the rooms once the allocated time has elapsed. So we are opening the rooms now. All the best. Now participants have been invited to join breakout rooms. Again, join any breakout room that you're interested in and you'll have an opportunity to change to another room later.
Excuse me, I would like to go to the US Embassy breakout room, the Kenya Embassy.
Who is that, please?
Jane.
Okay, I'm gonna take you there.
Jane Munge, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Irene, can you just make me a host one more time, please?
Okay, sure. Just 1 minute.
I logged with another device so that I can go to Jambo List. I probably appear twice.
What's the name of the second one?
Just Mogora Joroge, because I had to, because we are presenting both of us.
Okay, let me see it. I can't see you. Mogora Joroge. Okay, I see.
You find me? Thank you. Good.
Sarah, can you also make me a co-host, please?
Sure.
Can you please take me to the rather Peru?
Is that David?
Yeah, this is David.
Okay, rather
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. If anyone else is having issues joining rooms, we are here to help.
Can I please join the embassy?
Hello.
Ruth, is that Ruth?
Yes, I would like to join the ambassador room, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, this is Tony. I would like to join the HFC room.
Okay, on the side, the pop-up that came up, on the side, on the right side, there's a slider that you can pull down, and then you'll see the rooms all the way on the bottom. But we are going to put it on it.
For some reason, I don't see Ruth.
Can
you help me get Ruth?
Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth. You want to assign her somewhere?
She said she wanted to go to the embassy.
Maybe she has not called herself Ruth. She called herself Ruth.
Yeah, yes, on the screen it's Ruth, but I don't know why she doesn't come up in the main room. I don't know.
Living abroad and need to keep in touch with your family back in your home country? Traveling for business or leisure and tired of those expensive and unpredictable roaming charges? With a simple internet connection, you can now call
Were you able to send was that Peter, Sarah?
Wanyoike?
The one who wanted to go to, I think, Bath or something. For some reason, we can't see you on the screen. I don't know if you're using another name.
Oh, that's the name I have, Ruth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh. Here is that.
Hello.
I don't know. Sarah, there's still so many people in the main room. I'm wondering why. And they're not unassigned.
I think it's only two, unassigned two, only two people.
But we have others, like, do you mind stop, like, Sarah? Okay. We have all these people.
We have two people.
Unassigned.
Yeah.
But I can see so many, I can see so many people. or no? Oh, okay.
Hello?
Precious, I've no volume here. How many?
Hello, 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 guys. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Oh, I think I assigned everyone who was here to
Other rooms, huh?
other room. Pink House, they don't have a lot of people there.
What happened? I went to this room called Mimi and I didn't find anybody.
Even Mimi herself, she's not there.
Where is she?
I'm just asking. She was.
Yeah. It's empty even now.
Oh, what happened to her?
Was she around?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. She said that she would come.
Okay. I think that's why, yeah.
But I know, I don't think proximity point, I don't think proximity point people did not come there.
They also not
Yeah. So there's nobody who is there. Oh, so you're looking down here and you see all these people.
Yeah.
And you're wondering how come we are 23 here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they are because we can't even assign them.
We can assign them.
We can?
Mm.
Then assign them to Pink House.
Oh, is Pink House, there's somebody there?
Yes.
Okay, there are some who are already assigned in Pink House, but they didn't join. I don't know how that. Oh no, they went and left. Okay, they must have gone and okay.
Yeah, I just came from Pink House.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Where is Gladys's company?
You see, the only problem is if we assign people from the booth, we might take them back to a place they've already been. But if they're in the main room, then it's okay because we know they haven't been to any booth.
Yeah, Pink Room did not have a lot of people because, see, they didn't talk today. So a lot of people did not know about it.
Okay. So you want me to send people there?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Oh, but I don't know. The people I'm sending, they're still not active. They're still not joining.
Hey, Mina. Hey, Gideon. The embassy has a lot of people.
Yeah, and the chef group.
Yeah, but I guess once you speak,
Yes, yes.
attract.
And
Really.
those are lessons learned. Maybe next time you'll break it down into whatever, into more people speaking.